Alright, so Sonic 3. Considering I've seen this movie 3 times now, believe it or not, I've got a lot to say about it, but I'm just going to put this out there. This might just be my favorite movie of 2024. So my expectations were pretty high going into this, obviously. Keanu Reeves as Shadow is amazing. The first 2 Sonics were great. They've only gotten better. This one here, I did not think I'd love it as much as I do. So I've seen this movie once in a normal theater, and then the week of the release of this movie, a 4DX theater opened. The first for my state here in Australia, and I've never ever been in a 4DX theater, so I had to go see this movie in that, considering how much I loved it. 4DX, this movie is fucking awesome, just putting that out there. It is sick. And I'm praising this movie so highly because after 3 viewings of this film, I'm still loving it. I still found it funny, even though I knew the jokes that were coming. With other people, it was just hilarious. Jim Carrey as Robotnik is the greatest casting ever, but we'll get into that. The action, it's still amazing, even though I've seen it 3 times. There's so much to love about this film. So Keanu Reeves as Shadow was incredible. I mean, he just put on his normal Keanu Reeves voice. You know, made it a bit deeper. Standard. We knew what it was going to be. It was epic. Sonic and the gang were all great in this, and they don't concentrate solely on Sonic. All 3 of them, Tails, Knuckles, they all get their moments, so they're all as valuable as each other in the film. I really like that they stepped away from the human relationship aspect in this movie. It was more about Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. You obviously had Shadow and the backstory with his friend that he lost 50 years ago, Maria. That was great, and they did that really well. But the actual relationship between Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and their 2 guardians, it wasn't pushed as much in this film. They were there at the right times, and you see them at the right times, but they're not always relying on them, and it's not always going back to the humans every single time. It's solely about Sonic, Shadow, and Robotnik. So Jim Carrey as Robotnik, as I was saying, one of the best castings ever. And I won't lie, when I first saw the trailer, or that fucking disaster trailer where Sonic looked like a fucking gremlin, even in that trailer, even when they fixed the trailer, I was very skeptical of Jim Carrey as Robotnik. I love Jim Carrey, one of my favorite actors ever. Amazing. But not having played the Sonic games heaps, but having some knowledge of them, Robotnik always looked like a fat egghead, and Jim Carrey just didn't look anything like him. And with these video game adaptations, I want it as close as to the game as possible, so I was very skeptical. But 1 and 2 proved me wrong. He's amazing. In this film here, my God, this is Jim Carrey's movie. So not only does he play Robotnik, but he also plays his grandfather, another Robotnik. And my God, he bounces off himself in these scenes where they're both in there together. It's just amazing. It's so funny, and I feel like he has been given the freedom just to improv here. He had to, because there's no way people are writing this level of material for Jim Carrey, because it just sounds like Jim Carrey written comedy. If you don't find goofy shit funny, you're not gonna laugh, but if you find Jim Carrey's style of comedy funny, you're gonna find this hilarious. And as I said, seeing it 3 times, I still laughed in the 3rd viewing. I was still finding all of Jim Carrey's lines hilarious. And a great thing about the film is the humor level is for everybody. This is a movie you can go to with people of every age. So they obviously have humor in here for kids. At the end of the day, this movie is tailored to kids. And the humor in here, you know, like Sonic, at the start of the movie, they're having a race, and Sonic rocks up in like flippers or something, and he's like, oh, I thought we were fucking swimming. That kind of humor, kids are gonna find that hilarious. But then they intertwine that with Jim Carrey level comedy, where kids are gonna hear this and not understand why adults are laughing at it. Like, there's a joke about women in the military in this movie. Jim Carrey cracks it, and it's hilarious. But kids are gonna have no idea why it's funny, because they're too innocent. So they've gotten that level of humor absolutely perfect. The action itself was Fast and Furious level at times. Like the opening 10 minutes, there's like this huge bike chase with Shadow and Sonic, and it's sick. And if you have a 4DX theater anywhere near you, please go see this in 4DX, because it is It's so much fun. I literally feel like I've had whiplash coming out of that theater twice. It's so much fun. See it in 40X if you can. But this movie was amazing. They managed to outdo themselves. For me, this is the best. Second's my second favorite, and first is my least favorite. But not saying the first is a bad movie. I just enjoyed that the least out of the three. They're so good. I hope they keep going with these forever. And the actual conclusion of the story here is something I did not expect, and something I'm hoping continues. I'm not going to give anything away, but the ending to me was very surprising. I did not expect it, and it was done in a very good way. All three movies come full circle. And stick around for a mid and post-credit scene. I didn't realize there was a post-credit scene. I actually read online that there was a scene after the credits, and I had no idea. It is pretty cool, so that made me a lot more happy when I saw it the third time. And yeah, I've rated this movie so highly. Probably in top 3, if not my favorite film of 2024. So I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. So if you've seen the film, let me know what you think, and thanks always for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.